This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2015. With me is Brendan Cahill, Excellon Resources, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols. It's EXN on the TSX Venture, EXLLF in the U.S. Brendan, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me, Shelley. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you here. So let's start out with an overview on Excellon for our audience.
So Excellon Resources has been a high-grade silver producer in Mexico since 2005. 10 years of production. We're going to our 11th year of production now. The highest grade producer in Mexico, one of the highest grade producers in the world. Generally producing at 700, 800 grams per ton silver, exceptionally high grades. Now, the problem we've had is a problem of water, and that's really what the solution is going forward. If we can solve the water problem at Potosa, all of a sudden this becomes genuinely one of the best assets in Mexico.
Imagine it comes down to water. We're in a market where commodity prices are getting destroyed. You know, people are going in and out of business left and right. You know, new companies starting up, taking over old ones. And you've got a water problem? So what's the solution?
The solution is more pumping. We had a water problem from 2007. We finally have some of the best people in the business working on it. We're just working on adding more pumping capacity to the mine, getting the water table well below mine workings. And with a dry Potosa, you're talking about one of the richest silver mines in the world. If we can remove water from the equation, our costs go from, like many of our peers, struggling at $15 to $20 all-in sustaining, to all-in sustaining costs below $10. Few of our peers can talk about all-in sustaining costs long-term under $10 per silver ounce.
Now, Excellon has thrived in a market that has not. Besides your water issue, what's been the overriding reason of Excellon's success?
Grade. Highest grade silver producer. It's, at the end of the day, grade is always king, particularly in this market. We've got a resource of 760 grams per ton, about 6 years of mine life out ahead of us. And the interesting thing in Potosa is that it's a brand new discovery. We found it in 1998. The Spaniards weren't there. Grupo Mexico, Peñoles wasn't there. Unlike a lot of other mines in Mexico, the high grade heart wasn't mined out. We haven't even found it yet. So we know we're on the periphery of a much bigger system with 6 years to find life ahead of us, but all it's going to take is more drilling to expand that resource. And with this water solution, all of a sudden every single ton and ounce we find is now mineable at less than half the cost it is now.
So let me ask you another question. With your, obviously, production going on and your development continuing, what are you doing in terms of rediscovery of new assets?
I mean, right now, since 2013 and the silver price dropping, we've been very, tight on our exploration spending. But with a resource that can have 8 years of mine life out ahead of us, say looking back at 2013, we had the luxury of doing that. The interesting thing here is, again, only on the periphery of a much larger system and loads of ground left to explore. Our resource sits on 56 hectares, and we've got 20,000 hectares surrounding it. So when we talk about exploration potential, we've got kilometers and kilometers of prospective geology that we just have to drill to find more ounces.
So let me get an idea of land mass, if you would.
Yeah, we've got a 20,000 hectare package at Potosa. That's 200 square kilometers for Canadians. And, the mine sits right in the middle of it. It sits on 56 hectares. So we found 1 million tons of high-grade resource. Mined about 500,000 tons, have just under 500,000 left. So really on this very small ground package with 8 to 10 kilometers in every direction left to explore. It's a huge package of exploration. We just got to drill to find more.
Let's ask ourselves about management. What's your background and who are the key people surrounding the company?
Well, I'm a lawyer by training. I came from Davies Ward in Toronto, did a lot of M&A and corporate finance deals back in the heady boom times of 2004 to 2007 or so. Rupi Dadwar, our CFO, great, really one of the smartest guys in the business, really putting together a great transparent package of information for our shareholders and investors. Key addition we just made recently is Gerardo Avello, who came over from First Majestic. Obviously, one of the great silver producers down in Mexico. We managed to bring Gerardo over in February of this year, and he's been an incredible addition. Really brings that Mexican know-how to a Mexican company, and he's been able to reduce costs significantly, pretty much across the board over the past 6 months or so.
All right, let's get your website out there.
So it's www.excellonresources.com, based in Toronto, Ontario, and thanks very much, Shelley, for having me.
Let me tell you, it's good to have you. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Cahill, Excellon Resources, Inc. I'm going to give you 2 publicly traded symbols, EXN on the TSX Venture, EXLLF in the U.S. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2015. Brendan, don't be away so long.
Come back
more
sooner.
often.
Exactly. Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks, man.